Laurence, that's a nice blue screen.
Yeah, let me just check that's all good.
Do you want me to get, one thing I wanted to ask, do you want me to spotlight you at all, or shall I just get people to pin you? Do you want to be able to see people and stuff? You probably do, don't you?
Yeah, I don't know what spotlight means, but that's
Oh, okay. Yeah. We'll just get people to, it just means that you become the only person anyone sees.
um
But I think,
I think it'd be nice if they have
yeah,
the opportunity to see the other people as well.
yeah.
Okay, I think I know what's going on. Let me go back to bad camera, and then let's see if I can change back again. Oh, goodness sake. Okay. Let's try again.
There's no rush, so just get yourself.
Yeah.
I can always just let. There's only a few people waiting anyway. When I'll be. Has your phone gone to sleep?
No, it's here. Back camera. I'll go back to here. I'll turn everything off. Not everything off. I'll see if I can do this thing again. There we go. I think it might have just timed out or something. Aha! Okay. And now, if I get in Zoom. Yay!
Hey!
Worth doing all that checking earlier, wasn't it? Great. Okay.
Cool. Can I let people in? Because it's 4.
Yeah, sure.
I've got to. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
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 Okay.
I'm just ticking people off my list. How is everybody?
All right, nice to see you, Lucy.
Hello, hello.
Oh, hello.
Hi, Lucy.
Hi. You're all there. I love it.
Hi, Bob.
Hello, Bob.
Hi, hi guys. Good to see you again.
I'm just making sure people are on my list. Don't want anyone Zoom bombing us today.
Oh, no Zoom bombs.
Have you had that before?
No.
Okay.
We haven't, but I have heard stories that other people have had Zoom bombers, which has been interesting, shall we say.
Oh, really?
There's people who crash and Zoom.
Yeah, so we want to make sure we, yes.
Sounds quite exciting.
Could be quite disruptive.
I think it's
Could make it more interesting.
slightly disturbing, I think. Well, everyone's turning up.
Wow.
Lovely.
Everyone.
Do we need a
Good.
drum or something?
Say again.
Do we need anything to make sounds with?
No. If you've got something that you enjoy using, then that's great. Yeah, lovely. I can see some good things there. But I've incorporated a fair amount of thigh slapping and finger clicking. So no apparatus is essential.
Okay, I'll go and get something.
Okay, we'll wait just a couple more minutes because there might be a couple more people joining, and then
Excellent.
it's away. Just to let everyone know, I am recording this, but it is not going online anywhere. It is just for Barefoot Opera, so we've got a record of today, and to show the Arts Council we did do this.
Can I say this? It's possible I might have to leave early because my son is visiting today. So if I dash off, it's not because I don't like it. It's because I don't like the fact my son is.
Fine. I'll be keeping an eye on every box, making a little list.
Annie, so long as you leave on the offbeat, okay?
Right. I know it'll notice.
Very good, Bob.
Okay, well, I'm going to mute everyone now, and for those this is Laurence, everybody. So my top
Laurence.
left, who you may recognise from Bloom, and also he's run quite a few choir rehearsals and does lots of amazing singing and composing and general fabulousness.
Yeah, in fact, if any of you are doing the Bloom rehearsal, like 17th of October, halfway through that, I think I'll be there to help juggle everything. So I might see some of you in the flesh quite soon. So I think we've got enough people to get started. So just hello to everyone. Thanks so much for joining me.
Baby. Oh, lovely.
So the idea of today is to hopefully give everyone a few tools that by the end of the hour they might not have had to begin with, or it might just be a different way of coming at something that perhaps you're already very good at. I can see some pro musicians here who I'm sure will be keeping the fort on the other side of the screen. I'm not going to use any music notation. It's obviously great stuff, but I think that's a whole can of worms that we can do another time. We don't need that necessarily. So it's going to be obviously using your ears and hopefully using as much as your body as possible. Now, if you are sat down and want to keep sat down, that is fine. If you've got a baby on your lap, that's a very good excuse not to get up. But if anyone does feel the urge to stand up and get a little bit more energized, then please do. You don't have to stand up the entire hour, by the way. You will be allowed to sit down again at some point. Okay, we're going to start off with, if anyone who can, just jumping up and down a little bit. And you'll see why I want you to do this in a second. If you can't jump up and down, just have energetic thoughts. Okay, and everybody, whether you're jumping up and down or not, I'd like to take your right hand, just plonk it onto your chest where your heart is, and see if you can feel that beat. I've got mine coming through because I'm very unfit. Now then, once you've found that heartbeat, I'd like you to see if you can nod in time to it. So my one is about that speed. If you lose track of it, just try and go back into your body, see if you can get it back again. So I should see everybody just a little gentle nod. And then once you've got that, see if you can keep the same speed going while letting go of your body. So you're not going to get that feedback from your body, but just keep on nodding to whatever that speed that you had going was. So just letting go with your hand. Okay. And now just stop the nodding and keep that same speed going in your imagination. Okay. And just cut that out of your imagination as well, so you're left with absolutely nothing. Okay. You may think that's a sort of slightly left field woo-woo way to go about it, but I was listening to a very interesting thing on the radio the other day that was talking about music that's composed for babies to listen to. And it was basically saying that it always has to be a little bit faster, or it doesn't have to be, but it goes down better if it's a bit faster, because their hearts will beat faster than ours, and your sense of rhythm is linked biologically to your heartbeat. So just keep that in mind, that all of this that we're doing today, everything about pulse is there because we are things that make pulses, whether we're aware of it or not, whether we can hear it or not. That is always going on. So I'm going to turn on my little machine, which hopefully you'll be able to read. Welcome to the One Stop Rhythm Shop. And we're going to start chapter 1, which is entitled 1. This is because we're going to start off with the idea of pulse, and we're going to have a little bit of an experiment. Now then, what we'd usually do if this was real life and I had all you there, there's a thing of, has anyone done a circle of clapping before, where you kind of pass a clap around a group of people? Give me a nod, give me a no. No. Okay, so obviously, yes, I see some people know what I'm doing. Now, obviously, I did try this with some friends over Zoom, and it was a mess because, of course, there's a delay. So me clapping, by the time it's got to you and back, it's a mess. So we can't do that. But what we can do is something slightly different. Now then, I've got, is that audible? I should have asked Lucy this before. That's audible. Okay. You can also see the screen is slightly visibly going in with that. Oh, I've called my cat. Come on, out of the way. There we go, good boy. Now, all I want you to do is keep alongside it. And what we're going to do, we're going to have 8 of them. Then I'm going to switch it off for 8 beats. But I want you to carry on. And if all has gone well, we'll still be at the same place as we were. So let's try. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So that was muted and put back on for a second. I've got a... There we go. Who wants to join in? Okay. Give me a hands up if you were early. Oh yeah, a couple of people. Give me a hands up if you think you were a bit late. You joined a bit late. And give me a little wave if you were absolutely pro, bang in time. Oh, well done, Jonathan, Diana. Keeping the team up. So, we're going to try it again. We're going to make it slightly harder. Wife, could you feed the cat, please? We're going to make it slightly harder by slowing down the tempo. So, we're now going to go at about 1 per second. I'm going to hide the screen. You will see why. Okay. You can still hear that, I hope. So, we're going to count 8. Here we go. After now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now carry on. Okay. Now, if you're, thank you very much, stop clapping. If you're normal human beings, which I think most of you are, that would have been a little bit harder. Anyone bang in time still? Whoa, very nice. Anyone early? Anyone late? Not sure. Yeah, okay. So, this is obviously important if there's a shared rhythm going around. Usually, if it's live, people get quicker. If you're passing a clap round, the tempo goes up and up and up and up and up. But of course, what do you do if you're trying to count seconds? You say the word, I don't know, 100 or some elephant or something. So you say 100, 200, 300, 400. You add something in that space in between to fill the gap, which gives your mind something to do in between these big slow beats. So we're going to try that experiment one more time at same speed, exact same speed. This time, let's just remind ourselves of what that was. We're going to try and fill it with 8. So it'll be and that, in theory, will space these things out more accurately than it would do if we're just thinking of the beats themselves. So here we go. After 1, 2, we've got okay. Thank you very much for joining me in that experiment. Thumbs up if that made it better. Okay, or thumbs down. Okay, so if it's thumbs down, what's probably happening is the ones in between are not quite going the same speed. You're probably adding time. Are you late?
Have you got their email?
Can I just ask a question?
Yeah, please do.
You said we do 8. I
Yeah.
can't count 8 that fast. So
yeah,
are you actually
count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I just want you to imagine.
Yeah. So can I ask, are you actually just holding that rhythm of the fast tuckers in your head, and you know that's 8?
Yeah. So this is going to be what we're up to in chapter 2, which hopefully will make this easier, because what I want to introduce that idea of subdivision now, of splitting things into smaller and smaller elements so that we can get a better kind of rhythmic network to put stuff in. But yeah, either saying something, should we try it once with saying it, and let's see if that gives us a better grasp on it. We'll do it one more time. So 4, let's just do, I'll give you 4 beats, 4 silent, and then back in again. So here we go. After 1, 2, 3, 4, sorry, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So that's the idea of chapter 1. We're going to move swiftly onwards. Can you still see that? That's my lovely whiteboard. Great. We'll move on to chapter 2, which is called 2. Now, this is something I've been thinking about over the week, and it's a way of doing what we've just done, but a bit more methodically, and it also gives us something to do and something to say. I've called this the fiddle-de-diddle-de approach, and hopefully you can use this for anything you do. It has 4 elements: your fids, your dids, your dulls, and your lees. Now there's a bit of a hierarchy here. On the very top of the pyramid, you've got your fid. That is your downbeat. That is your main beat. Then second down from that is your did. This is your still an important beat, but not so big. Now the dulls and the Ds are going to fit in between depending on what we've got to work with. Because obviously not all rhythms are going to work out the same way. But in chapter 2, we're going to split this up into main beat and smaller beat and start a little bit of dancing. Now, I'm not a choreographer, so if you feel on like improvising your own moves to this, then be my guest. Right. So we're going to do a simple rhythm in 2. If I stand back a bit, you might be able to see my thighs. Our fid, choose whatever your main hand is. If I'm right-handed, so I'm going to use my right hand. And it's going to go fid, slap, nice thigh slap. Now, in between, you're going to have your dull, which is going to be a click. So let's just try fiddle, fiddle. You can say the word as well, that might help. Now your diddle will be on your whatever your not main side is. For me, that's my left. Again, slap with my diddle, and a click with the dull. Let's just try that on that side, diddle. So, put them together. We should have fiddle, diddle, fiddle, diddle. Let's try and keep that going. Now I'm going to slightly take the tempo up as we go here. So let's see if we can ratchet up a little bit. So we've got a bit of an acceleration going on there. If your thighs are hurting, then you're doing it right. And thank you very much. Okay, so that gives us, again, as I say, a network through which you can put absolutely anything. When I think about people who are good at rhythm, for some reason I have an image of someone playing bongos on the beach and doing loads of crazy stuff that you can't really follow. But in order to be able to do that, I bet my bottom dollar that you need a solid rock-tight network that you can put all those into. This is the same if you're singing, if you're playing an instrument. If you're in a choir, it's super important. If you've got a conductor at the front, this kind of stuff is super important. And feeling it in your body, I think, is the only way to really hammer that down into something solid you can rely on. So that was a very basic 2 rhythm. I'm sure most of you would have found that no problem. We are going to have another interpretation of this chapter 2, however. So I called it the fiddle-dee-diddle-dee approach. You might have noticed I haven't used my D's yet. So for that beat, we split it up into 2 equal parts. Bum, 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 bum. And with that, obviously, as we did before with the 8, that goes into a rabbit hole of 2s, 4s, 8s, 16s, etc. But of course, it can also split a different way completely into 3s. And this is where my fiddle-dee comes in. So we're going to try. Our fid is the same, main hand, fid. Now we need something in between. And that, for me, is going to be a little ostrich hand. Okay? That's your dull. When there's, and then you can finish off with a click. So if I do that slowly with my fiddle-dee, I'll have fiddle-dee. And again, so I can see all this happening on the screen, it'd be lovely if they're quite sharp. Let's try and do bum, 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 bum. Okay, on the other side, diddle-dee, again. Diddle-dee, diddle-dee. I'm going off the screen, I need to go that way. Okay, let's put those together because we're still in 2, because we've still got a basic fid, we've got a did, we've got 2 beats. And we're going to try, let's get some metronome going here. A little bit faster than we were before. Let's go for, no, that's a little bit fast. Okay. But, so we could have split that into fiddle, 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 fiddle. Let's just remind ourselves how that felt. Fiddle, fiddle, okay. We're going to now split it into fiddle-dee, diddle-dee, fiddle-dee, 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 diddle-dee, fiddle-dee, diddle-dee. Okay. Level of brain freeze going on. Okay, I hope, because yeah. This will get easier and harder in the same at the same time, hopefully, because we'll be quite practiced in this, and this will become second nature. But obviously, be with different things in it. Now then, when I'm not going to do too much music speak today, but it might be useful to give this a label, and we would call, when it's in those threes, fiddle D, we call that compound time, same as if you had a compound I in a fly is one thing made up of lots of little things, or a compound in chemistry, you've got lots of things together to make one thing. So that's where your beat is split into that little mini into that little mini three. Okay, we're gonna have a little experiment with this then. Now, depending on how many people we have, I was gonna do this by surnames. So just give me a thumbs up if your surname is A to F. We got a couple there, lovely, hello, A to Fs. Okay, G to P. G to P, yeah, we've got a couple, that's good. So we've got like 3, then 4. And finally, Q to Z, so all the rest. Okay, this was working beautifully. You've got a very nice, diverse spread of names there. Okay, everyone in the A to F, I want you to say it out loud and do, but don't say or do the other ones. You've got the easy job. You're just going to do your fid and your did. And if you make the gesture as big as you can so I can see it on the screen, that would be super. Okay? The middle ones, the G to Ps, you're just going to use your dulls. So you'll be making an ostrich hand on your main beat, ostrich hand in your right beat. Might look like a kind of lobster dance. And the last ones, Q to Zs, will be doing the Ds, the click. And again, if you give a little bit of movement to your wrist so we can see those going on, my ultimate dream is that I'll have a sort of dance troupe thing going on in my grid of people. So no pressure, but this is what I've been looking forward to all day. Okay, we're gonna start a little bit slower. In fact, no, I was gonna cheat and make it easy for you. I'm not gonna do that. That is the speed. So start off with the fids, just the fids, and so fid, did, fid, did. You carry on, fid, did. This is great. Okay, thank you. You carry on going. The second group you'll be doing dul, 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 dul. Thank you, and you carry on going. The last group are going to be doing D, 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 and thank you. Great. I really hope this is recorded and sent off. Okay, so that you haven't just done the boring job, we're going to move along one. So if you're on the fids, move to the dulls, dulls move to the Ds, Ds move back to the fids. Yeah? Okay, we're going to start with the new fids. This should be now the G to P people. And here we go. We got fid, did, fid, did, fid. Carry on. Okay, and the dulls, dull, 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 and the Ds, D, 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 and do say these things as well. And one, and stop. And the last time we're going to all go in together on the one, whichever one we haven't done with that. Okay, so here we go. And fiddle dee. Okay, I'm going to slightly put the tempo up. Da, da, fit, dee, diddle, dee, fit, dee, diddle, dee, fit. Great. Diana's doing a great amount of movement there. I can really see what's going on. Okay, and we can cut. Okay, great. And relax. If you've been stood up for ages, maybe now's a good time just to sit down. I actually feel like I've been exercising, which probably doesn't say very good things about my level of exercising, but never mind. Okay. we've taken two very basic beats. We've split it up into two. We've split those same beats up into three. We're going to move on to next bit. Chapter 3 is entitled 3. I think you can probably see the pattern that's going on here. Once we've of how we split up our beats. Ooh. My default microphone has changed. You can still hear me, I hope?
Pretty faint now, it's a bit fuzzy. A bit
Ooh,
fuzzy.
let me have a go. Putting it back where it's meant to be. Fuzzy, still fuzzy.
We can hear you though. I mean, it's okay. Now nothing.
Okay, you might just have to go with that. For some reason, my expensive recording setup has failed me. Okay, so we're gonna add on a few beats. We're gonna get very interesting in about 10 minutes or so. But before we do that, I want to make sure that we've got enough tools to deal with that when it comes. So we're going to try a simple rhythm of 3. This will involve 1 fid, 2 dids. So you'll have a bum, 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 bum. We're going to split fiddle, diddle, diddle, bum, 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 bum. Okay. Everyone with A to L as a surname. 1, 2, 3. I want you to carry on doing the fiddles and the diddles. So this is the splitting it up into 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and with a main left, left. With me it's a right, left, left. Everyone else, we're going to keep that same tempo, but you're going to do it into 3. So you're going to have fiddle dee diddle dee diddle dee, fiddle dee diddle dee diddle dee, fiddle dee diddle dee diddle dee, bop 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 bop, fiddle dee. So we should have, even though we can't hear it, we are making a lovely counterpoint across the airwaves. Dop 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 dop, and thank you, and boom. Okay. By the way, if you want to start hitting something for your main beats so that you're getting a more satisfying sound at this point, then do. I think you've got the idea of where these things are going. What I'd like to start to do now is work out a way to interchange between the two of these things a little bit more smoothly. If you're doing Bloom, which I know some of you are doing, you're going to have some pretty far out stuff to deal with in terms of rhythm. We had a rehearsal with the composer a few weeks ago, and he insisted his music was very simple. There was a sort of murmur around the room that said, "Not quite sure about that." And one of the things that you'll need to do very well is, again, shift between splitting things up into 2 and 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So we're going to have a go at that. I'm going to get the metronome to do my job for me, because otherwise I'm not going to. I'm going to go a little bit faster than that. I reckon 72 is a nice speed. And I'll make sure it's in 3. Now then, you can carry on thigh slapping, you can use something to bang on, you can use words, either the ones I've chosen or something more French if you like. And I'd like to do alternate bars of splitting it into a nice neat 2, which will be like fiddle, diddle, diddle, fiddle, diddle, diddle, or bop 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 bop. You saw I was rushing there. So first into 2, then into 3. Let's just work out how we can shift between the two of those. You've just got to sort of rearrange your mind. So here we go. I'm going to start with fiddles after 1, 2, 3. Fiddle, diddle, diddle. Fiddle, dee, diddle, dee, diddle, dee. Fiddle, diddle, diddle. Fiddle, dee, diddle, dee, diddle, dee. Fiddle, diddle, diddle. Ba, 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 ba. Fiddle, diddle, diddle. Fiddle, dee, diddle, dee, diddle, dee. Ba, 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 ba. And stop. Okay. Pause for a second. Give me somewhere in a meter of that to that, how you felt your success. I'm sure some people will be bang on to that. Okay, we got a mixture of things. Okay, good. Yeah, Diana's on it, of course. So we're gonna do that a little. What we're gonna do, we'll do one of bums where we're doing it into 2. I'm then going to give you 3 beats off to rearrange your brain entirely, so that when we start back again, we can put it into a 3 subdivision, if that makes sense. And again, using your body in any way that's going to make that easier. You've got to. I thought that, Lottie, I thought that was a mug you were using, but it's a drum, isn't it? I thought it was your cup of tea. You were going to give it a good bash. Okay. So 3 in fiddles, 3 for nothing while we rearrange. Then we're going to go into that kind of a triplet subdivision or a compound, whatever you want to call it. So here we go. After 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So fiddle, diddle, diddle. Rearrange. Fiddle, dee, diddle, dee, diddle, dee. Okay. Again. We go. Bum, 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 bum. Rearrange. 2, 3. Fiddle, dee, diddle, dee, diddle, dee. Okay? Now we're going to try one straight after the other. So here we go. After 1, 2, 3. So fiddle, diddle, diddle. Fiddle, dee, diddle, dee, diddle, dee. Fiddle, diddle, diddle. Fiddle, dee, diddle, dee, diddle, dee. Good. I can see lots of hands moving up. I mean, this is the kind of thing in a room would be in some ways a lot more easy, but maybe we wouldn't, be pushed into.
It really helps if you say it, I find.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if everyone shouts out fiddle dee, well, yeah, for me it really helps.
If you're any brass players? No. If you're actually, I think a lot of woodwind, I think flautists use this as well. They have little words they say in order to get different rhythms out of your mouth. So like ticka 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 ticka, and that sort of makes it a lot easier because they've got a kind of a word they can grasp onto. So yeah, absolutely. This is why I give you words. Okay, we are getting there. We're going to try that same thing now, just with one more beat added in. So I'm going to go to 14/4. No, thank you. So I might give you a little backing here as a jam. If you've got your drums, go for this. We're going to try 1 bar. This is in 4 now. So we've got 1 fid, did, fid, did. We're going to try, again, I'll give you 1 that we do into 2s. I'll then give you 4 for nothing while we can rearrange our brains. And then we'll have 1 that we go into the fiddle D, into the 3s. Okay, so here we go. After 1, 2, 3, 4. Fiddle, diddle, diddle, diddle. Bum. Rearrange into fiddle, dee, diddle, dee, diddle, dee, diddle, dee. 1. Okay, rearrange back into 2, 2. Fiddle, diddle, rearrange. And last time, fiddle, dee, diddle, dee, diddle, dee, diddle, dee. Good. And finally, basically what we're doing here, if you're gonna you're a musician or if you're being explained this by a conductor, we're going from duplets into triplets and back again. Thank you. The only problem is that we don't always get that amount of time to rearrange. So now we're going to get them a little bit closer together. So I think we're getting more used to going in between the two. And we're now going to have one beat of fiddle. Then beat 2 is going to be into a 3, into a 2, into a 3. I'll just explain that because it's probably easier to do than is to describe. So this is 2, 3. So I'm going to go fiddle, fiddle, dee, fiddle, dee. Ah! Try that again. So here we go. 2, 3, 4. Fiddle, fiddle, dee, 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 fiddle, fiddle, dee. Bum, bum, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Okay, that's really nice. What I might do is, just so you feel like this is a little bit less clinical, we're going to do that same thing. Bum, bum, ba, 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 ba. I'm going to give you a little tune to go with it. So here we go. 1, 2, with the words please, 3, 4. Fiddle, diddle, so you've got the idea. I mean, piano is. Thank you. Piano is a very percussive thing. Singing can be very percussive as well. If you can hit a note on its head, that can be a very, very useful thing to do. And we've also looked at coming in sort of halfway through these kind of groups when we split us up into those different elements. So yeah, I very much hope you'll be saying to yourself fiddle-de-diddle-de in time, in order to work out some of the more alien times. Now, we are coming to the final challenges. Give your brain a little rest if it's been working very hard. Thank you so much for your participation and concentration so far. We come to our chapter 4, which is not called 4. It's called 5, because we've already done 4, and 4's boring. And that 5 is the future. 4, 3 and 2, this is all music of the past, unless you're in Russia in the 1900s. We're going to have a look at a bit of 5. We're going to have a look at a little bit of 7. And these are the sort of rhythms that people get scared of sometimes. But actually, we've done everything to make these. We're just taking a little bit from one group and a little bit from another group and smushing them together. So we're going to start off with a 5. Now, before, we've been mixing up our 3s and 2s, but our pulse, which we had on our metronome, didn't change. Yeah? With me so far. Pulse stayed the same. Our splitting of it did change. Now, there's another way of going about this, where all the little bits that make up your fiddles and your diddles stay exactly the same, which means that your 3 group is actually bigger than your 2 group. So if you were doing your heartbeat, you'd kind of have a slightly longer and a slightly shorter heartbeat one to the other. Again, we'll do this because I think explaining it is not always the easiest thing. So we're going to have 2 groups, but this time our 3 and our 2 will be united by how big our mini groups are. So we're going to go fiddle diddle dee, fiddle diddle dee, bum 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 bum. Again, if I back away, no, that way. Fiddle diddle dee, fiddle diddle dee, bum bum. Fiddle diddle dee, Thank you very much. Okay. Everyone keep up with that. I mean, it's the same stuff we've been doing. We're just doing it in a slightly different order. Sounding, I'm sure it's sounding good. I was going to say sounding good. It's looking like you're doing something, but I believe you. Now, all we need to do, I think, is speed that up a little bit. And before I do, obviously that was a 5 there. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is one of the things that if I'm teaching theory, I go a little bit mad on. How many beats were there in our 5? How many thigh slaps did we have? Give me the right way round. Give me the number that you did there per 5. Yeah, thank you, Alison. Yeah, we got 2. We got 2 beats. We're still basically in chapter 2 doing our 2 beats. We're just making them a little bit lopsided is all. Yeah, you got 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and good. Yeah, Clara's having a good go there. A 5. Okay, so we've. If I put it in front of this is why I wore a black polo shirt. We've had a 2 plus a 3. It is probably worth trying just redistributing that balance there. We're going to try for a 3 plus a 2. Adds up to the same thing. You're just shifting the way you're thinking about it. So we're going to start with a fiddle D, and then your, in my case, left hand is just going to do a diddle. Okay. Here we go. Let's try together after fiddle D. No, is that what I said? Yes, it was. 3 and a 2. Here we go. Fiddle dee diddle. 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 Fiddle. Fiddle dee diddle. Bum 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 bum. Thank you and whoop. Okay, did that make sense? It seemed like you were all getting on with it and it was working very nicely. Okay, so I mean you are modern musicians now. You could all go and conduct anything you like. This is it. We're living in the future. Now, as we said, 5/8 has 2 beats, and it's up to you how lopsided they are and in which direction. We're gonna try something with 3 beats now, but without them all being the same size. So let's think. We could pretty much do what we like. I reckon I'm gonna try for a fiddle, a diddle, and a diddle-dee. You get that? Fiddle, a diddle, and a diddle-dee. And again, your diddle-dee will be a slightly stretched beat this time, because we're not squeezing it in as a triplet. We're letting everything flow along on that smaller level. Okay. Yeah. So here we go. We're going to go after fiddle diddle diddle dee. Here we go. Get your drums to the ready. Fiddle diddle diddle dee. Fiddle diddle diddle dee. Fiddle diddle diddle dee. Ba ba ba. Diddle 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 dee. 1, 2, 3. And a 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 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Good. And now what I want you to do is just, again, you can do this in your head, or you can just say the words if you're, again, my thighs are getting a bit raw here. But I'm gonna play, if I can remember it. Which some of you may remember. It's one of this little folk song that was used in the Bloom opera. Amount of fingers, how many beats is in that tune? This is a trick question. Thinking of what we just did. We did bum 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 bum. I've got thigh slap, thigh slap, thigh slap, thigh slap, Nice lap, nice lap. There are 3. Where are you? There, you're there. You are 3. There are 3 beats. Okay. Even though there are 7, it's in what we call 7/8 because you split it up into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think for me, thinking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 isn't very helpful when you're actually doing something when you're performing. Those beats fly by too quick to really grasp onto them. Okay, so just have a listen and see how you would split up the tune. So things you already know, there's going to be 3 main beats. You know it's going to be 7 little bits. So your choice is whether you're going to do a fiddle-dee, then a diddle, then a diddle. You can split it 2, 3, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 2. Just have a listen. I might be slightly off camera for this, but hopefully you'll still be able to hear. Okay. Votes for 2, 2, 3. Diana, yeah. Oh. Votes for 2, 3, 2. Votes for 3, 2, 2. Yeah, that's the one. Good. Yeah, so let's just have a little go at that. Again, I think imagine the in-between ones. Just get those main beats, which is your bum, 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 bum. If you've got a drum, let's just play along a little bit after 1 and a 2, 3. Did that work? I'm going to see some good tapping going on. Okay, so that is basically your 5/8 and your 7/8. You can obviously add on as many as you like. I'm not going to make you do 11s or 17s, but if you ever come across them, it'll be a mixture of fiddles and diddle-dees, and you just need to work out where the 2s are, where the 3s are, and then it will all be demystified, and you'll end up with a normal number of beats going through that. Obviously, these things can be mixed up. So the duplet to triplet thing we did earlier, bum bum ba 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 bum bum fiddle dee da ba da da da, can sometimes be mixed up with the sort of more irregular 7s and 5s. But we're not going to do that today because I don't quite know how that would work on Zoom. But I'm sure I'm sure we're capable. But by the way, if I'm looking over there like I'm not looking at you, that's just because that's my camera and that's you. So I'm sorry if you feel like I'm neglecting you visually, but I love you all. Okay, we've done lopsided beats. What I suggest we go out with is a little bit of a jam to get us going. So this, if you haven't used whatever you've brought here as an instrument, please get it out. Even if you have something that's melodic that you'd like to use, that'd be lovely. I'm so looking forward to being able to get back all in the same room, which may not happen for a long time, but even doing something like this, just to be aware that there's other people and that we are making some kind of music together, even if no one can hear it. That's something, isn't it? Good. I'm going to get our trusty metronome on. Don't look at my password. And we're going to go for 72. I like 72. It feels natural. And I'm just going to put it as a single 1 beat so we can split it up. In fact, I might Let me move this around to there so you can see what's going on. Okay. We're going to start off, we're going to do a quick recap through everything we have done. We're going to start off in 2. We're going to go 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1 and 2. 2 and 2. 1, 2 and 2. 2. In a minute, we're going to move this to the compound time. So we're going to go from our fiddle, 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 2. Fiddle, 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 fiddle. Okay, now we're going to move to 3, 3, 4. So we're going to go fiddle, fiddle, fiddle. Main, less, less. Main, less, less. Bum, 2. We're going to now move to what's called 9/8. Still 3 beats split into 3. So that, 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a. Okay, very nice. We're now gonna see if we can do bum bum ba 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 fiddle little dee diddle dee. So this is moving a little bit more rapidly through duplets and triplets. So you got. Okay, very nice. And now we're wanting to go into our 5s and our 7s. So for this, I'm going to speed up our single beat. A little bit more. Yeah, something like that. So, here, we're going to start off with our lopsided 2 beat. We're going to have and bum 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 bum. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Fiddle, dee, diddle. Bum 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 bum. We're going to swap that around. We're going to go having our 2 first, then our 3. So it'll be and fiddle, diddle, dee. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Thank you very much. We're going to have a look at our 7s to finish off with. We're going to start with a 2, 2 plus 3. We're going to have and fiddle, diddle, diddle, dee. Fiddle, diddle, diddle, dee. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's have another kind of 7. We're going to do, what will happen if we do the 3 in the middle? So we're going to start with 2, then 3, then 2. Bit more unusual, but hey, why not? We're going to do and fiddle, diddle, dee, diddle. Fiddle, diddle, dee, diddle. 1, 2, and a 3. 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 1 and 2 and a 3. 1, 2 and a 3. Okay. And finally, why not? Let's do an 11. Doesn't matter if we get it or not. We're going to try. What can we do 11? We're going to do 3, 2, 3, 3. Does that add up to 11? I think it does, doesn't it? 3, 2, 3, 3. Yeah, I'm getting some nods. Good. So we're going to do fiddle dee diddle diddle dee diddle dee fiddle dee diddle diddle dee diddle dee. 1 and a 2, 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2, 3 and a 4, and I'm not gonna try to play on the piano, 'cause this is about all I can do. But that is okay. I've successfully confused myself there, which I think is probably the limits of what I can achieve today. I really hope that you haven't been bored out of your mind for now. I've seen lots of good stuff going, and I suppose going forward, it's whenever you find something, just rather than thinking about the rhythm itself, I always find it is a lot more helpful to me to think about the network that it's being put into. If you've got a pulse that you can internalize, if you've got a web that it can all fit in, then there's only so far you can go wrong. You've got the tools to deal with that. And obviously, if you're either in a choir or doing some sort of operatic stuff or anything where you've got a conductor, it's then matching that internal sense of what's going on with these pulses to what they're doing, and obviously, if rather than staring at them 24/7, it means you can maybe look away to do something else if you need to, and you can keep that going internally and then go back to them, and then you're back in the room. A little bit like what we did at the very beginning, where we turned the metronome off before and back on, and sort of worked out if we'd kept up or not. If you're doing a rehearsal in a couple of weeks, I will be seeing you there. I think I'm doing one on the 17th down in Hastings in a big room, where, funnily enough, I think we've got a load of stuff in 5/8 to rehearse, which you'll be froze at by now, I think. If you weren't already, obviously, I'm sure some of you will have spent decades playing in 5/8 and not thinking about it. But if I could hand back over to Mrs. Lucy Morgan to wrap things up and say a final thank you very much to everyone.
Oh, thank you, Laurence. Big hand to Laurence. Feel free to unmute and say hi. Thank you.
Thank you, Laurence. That was great.
Great.
Thanks.
Fiddle, it was great. Really good. And really helpful for Bloom, because like you say, there are some challenging time signatures floating around,
Definitely,
shall we say.
definitely. Although if you don't think about them as challenging,
Yeah, exactly.
they look.
Well, now we're not going to. Now we're going to feel the 2 and the 3 instinctively
Change your lives.
after your fabulous hour, you see.
Thank
Fantastic.
you very much.
Okay. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Laurence.
Bye.
Really good stuff.
Bye.
Bye bye.